What are we going to look at? Key terminology. We're going to go through some of the language that you need to be familiar with. We're going to talk about the difference between expulsion and compulsory retirement. We are going to talk about how, as a firm, you can do it right, and how, as an individual, you can challenge it. And we're going to talk about the procedure, whether there's a right to be heard, any sort of natural justice application. We're going to talk about practical tips for firms and individuals, and we're also going to look at age-based retirement very briefly. Going to think about the consequences of invalidity of an invalid exit. And then, as I said, we're going to look particularly at this one useful recent case of Moody and the estate of Norman Jones. Now, let's go back to compulsory retirement in a bit more detail. It is the weapon of choice for many firms. Why I say that is because, of course, just going back to that fundamental distinction, you do not need to make out a ground. So making out a ground of, say, serious or persistent breach or bringing a firm into disrepute, things like that, may well be quite complicated and contentious, and potentially open up challenges as to whether the ground is really made out, and open up quite a significant factual analysis. He then went on to ask himself in quite a lot of detail whether the conduct was likely to have a serious adverse effect on the partnership business, which you'll remember was a separate limb under the partnership agreement entitling a partner to expel another partner and thereby dissolve the business. So he said that you had to ask yourself questions like, what is the business of the partnership? What, as a matter of fact, is the conduct complained of? Is the relevant partner in any sense guilty in respect of such conduct, i.e. has he done something or she done something that ought not to have done in accordance with the terms of the partnership, express or implied? And applying, and this is the crucial thing, applying an objective standard, is the conduct complained of likely to have a serious adverse effect on the business of the partnerships?